Hi and welcome to A World of Words. I'm Vanessa and today is day 1 of the Unicorn Readathon. The rules for the Unicorn Readathon are very simple. You just have to read a book that has something to do with mythical creatures. There could actually be mythical creatures in the book. There could be a mythical creature on the cover. There could be a vague reference to a mythical creature in the title, or a vague reference to a mythical creature in the book somewhere, anywhere. It doesn't even have to be a major part of the book to qualify for the Unicorn Readathon. But I actually found the most perfect book for this readathon: A Magical History of Unicorns. It's just too perfect. I found this book about a month ago in the clearance section of Books A Million, and I hadn't read it yet. I flipped through it because it's full of pretty pictures. Let's see if I can awkwardly flip. It has pretty illustrations, which is the main reason why I got it, but it also, I kind of flipped through it and then I put it on my shelf. It kind of slipped my mind and I realized, wait, I haven't actually read this book yet. It's kind of what it sounds like. It's just about unicorns in different mythologies and different unicorns in pop culture and how unicorns are portrayed and just different facts about them and stuff. From what I flipped through and gathered, that's what it seems to be about. Obviously, I don't 100% know since I haven't read it yet. And I'm very excited to read it because, again, it's got so many beautiful illustrations. And I'll probably, well, that one's a little bit creepy, but, so this is not too thick of a book. I definitely can read this in a week since the readathon is from today, the 4th, to the 9th, which is Friday. So I could probably read more than just this. I might be able to read this today. We'll see. And so, like, what else should I read for this readathon? I haven't actually come up with anything else. I was just like, I could read this one. Be good to go. But I am actually partway through Ingenue, which is book 2 in the Flappers series. So this is a bunch of drama in the 1920s, and I'm more than halfway through this book. And I do want to finish it, but it doesn't have anything whatsoever to do with mythological creatures or fantasy. It's historical fiction, so it definitely would not count for the readathon. So I wanted to maybe take you on a tour of my TBR shelf and we could like pick out a book together. So let's do that now. So books I have not read include this shelf, minus a few books. I've read a few books. I've read Illuminae, Vixen, and these 4 arcs. And then here's my other TBR shelf and the books I've read and here. So I've read these ones. But yeah, so this is basically what I have to choose through for the Unicorn Readathon. And the problem is, again, since I haven't read these books, I don't know which ones have mythical creatures in them. This one is about mermaids, so I think mermaids probably count. Are mermaids a mythological creature? And then I have some fantasies, like Fallen Kingdoms, Snow Like Ashes, and School for Good and Evil, which I would love to read, obviously, since I have it, but I don't know if it has mythical creatures in it, again. And then we have I'd also like to read this one soon. This is an arc, The Wicked Deep, and it is about witches. But I'm not sure if it has magical creatures in it or if it's just witches. And I don't know if witches count as a mythological creature, so I'm not sure. So yeah, I wish I knew if School for Good and Evil had mythical creatures, because I really do want to read that one soon. And possibly the mermaid book. So we shall see if any of those have mythical creatures in them. Maybe I'll do a tweet asking if any of them have mythical creatures. I don't know. I think School for Good and Evil has a swan on the cover, so I don't know what that's about, but maybe it counts. At least I have my unicorn book to read, so I'm probably going to start reading that one soon now. Yeah. Oh, hello. As you can see, a few friends decided to join me. These are some of my unicorn stuffed animals that I've had as a kid. Hi! So it is now day 3 of the Unicorn Readathon. I did not film at all yesterday because I don't think I mentioned this in Sunday's video clips, but I've been getting over being sick for like a week. So yesterday I slept in really late and I didn't really accomplish all that much. I pretty much just bopped around YouTube and didn't do all that much, didn't really feel like filming. But I forgot to mention on Sunday night that I did end up finishing the Magical History of Unicorns and I didn't wrap up my thoughts on it. I don't think I talked about actually the content of it at all. So, a brief review of the Magical History of Unicorns. The pictures are gorgeous. I am 100% satisfied with the pictures. Honestly, that is the main reason why I bought the book in the first place, was because of the gorgeous pictures of unicorns that I thought could inspire me in my own artwork, because I do like to draw, and they're just so colorful and so cool looking. So I really, really love the pictures. This one's kind of scary. Look, it's like this massive, unicorn. Anyway, but as far as the written content inside this, I thought it was okay. I couldn't find any evidence that this was for kids. I don't think it is for kids, but it almost seemed like it was because it was just so, each section was really short. It had a lot of examples from other sources, but it didn't go really into detail about anything that it was talking about. It was just like very surface level is what I was looking for. Just very surface level information, different things in history that, like, historical figures thinking they've seen unicorns, or where unicorns show up in different cultures, mythologies, and things like that. Also different unicorns in pop culture. So it was basically what I thought it was from flipping through it. But it didn't go into as much detail as I would have liked. And also there were times when it mentioned unicorns in artwork, different depictions of unicorns throughout history, but that wasn't what the artwork in the book was. The artwork in the book was not related to the text whatsoever. It was just random pictures of unicorns. I would have liked the artwork to have actually been what they were talking about in the book. That could have been really cool and really interesting. There was like one time when the artwork was what they were talking about, but other than that, it just was completely random. Like, it was some interesting information, but as soon as like I was getting really interested in a certain topic, it would switch to the new topic. A lot of little bits and pieces of information. I mean, it's pretty small, so you can't really expect it to go into a lot of detail about anything. But it could have gone into like a little bit more detail into a few different things. It did have a lot of references, so it took from a whole bunch of different sources, and all of the sources are listed, very easy to find in the back of this book. So if I want to look at anything in more detail, I can very easily do so, and I probably will do so, because it could be a good thing for kids or for somebody who hasn't really done any research on unicorns. I've actually done a little bit of research on unicorns, so when they were talking about certain things, I kind of knew the information already. A couple interesting tidbits that stick out to me were, my favorite part was when there was this historical figure who thought he saw a unicorn, and it was actually a rhino, and he was talking about how they're not as graceful or beautiful as I was led to believe. They're actually quite ugly and large and cumbersome looking. But I'm like, it wasn't because he didn't see a unicorn, you saw a rhino. It was just me being easily amused, but I found that hilarious. And then another really sad part was that a lot of people would kill narwhals and use their horns, sell them as unicorn horns, because they thought they had healing properties and magical stuff, which they don't, because it's a narwhal. Apparently it's a tusk, it's not even a horn. It like grows out of their mouth. So it's not actually even a horn. So it does not have magical properties, but people would kill them and sell those, which is pretty sad. But yeah, overall it was interesting. I ended up giving it 4 stars because I mainly bought it for the pictures. So the fact that it wasn't super in-depth didn't really bother me all that much because I didn't really expect it to be, considering it's really short. So that's all I'm really gonna say about this. And then yesterday I also ended up doing some more reading, and I read more of Ingenue because, like I said, I was already about 2/3 of the way into this book, so I wanted to know what happened next. And now I only have like less than 100 pages left, so I'm just gonna finish this week, I think. No, this does not count towards the Unicorn Readathon. Nothing whatsoever to do with mythical creatures, but I am reading it this week during the Unicorn Readathon, so I figured I would mention it. Also, and this was not planned though, I'm using the unicorn magnetic bookmark that I made. This is my own design. That actually was not planned. I was using it because it matches, the colors matched the book. So actually, it does now technically have a unicorn inside this book. See what I did there? Yeah, I know it still doesn't count. So I will talk to you later. So it is now Friday, February 9th, the final day of the Unicorn Readathon. I didn't update very well in these last 3 days, but that was kind of because the books I was reading didn't 100% qualify towards the readathon. They did not have to do with mythical creatures, but I realized I never actually wrapped up the vlog, so I should actually wrap up the vlog, and that is what I'm doing now. So I ended up finishing Ingenue by Gillian Larkin. This is the second book in the Flappers series, and I really liked it. Like, if you've never heard of the series, it's like kind of like Gossip Girl in the 1920s, but not exactly. It's just a bunch of drama teenagers in the 1920s, and a lot of crazy stuff's happening. Dangerous people are after some of them for various reasons, and they keep getting into all this trouble, and they're just kind of trying to make things work. It got very crazy by the end. The end was very dramatic, as the end of the first one, Vixen, was also extremely dramatic, and I really enjoyed it. I ended up giving this one 4 out of 5 stars. The only reason it wasn't 5 stars was there was one character that really annoyed me. I mean, at the end of book 1, I really didn't like her, and I really didn't like her in this book, so I didn't want to read her point of views, but they ended up being important, so obviously you have to read all the point of views because they all connect and intertwine and everything like that. And there was another person who was a new point of view character that was added in this book and wasn't a point of view character, but was just kind of briefly introduced and was barely in book 1. And again, I didn't really care for this person's point of views because they were basically following around the other characters, and I didn't see the point of her point of views. Nothing really new was added in those sections. I really enjoyed this book though. The other characters I really liked and I was really invested in, and it's a fun series if you haven't heard of it and you like historical fiction with lots of drama and romance and craziness. And then I read The Wicked Deep by Shay Earnshaw. I'm pretty sure this name is pronounced Shay. If it's not, I'm sorry. This one I flew through in like 2 days because it was really good. This is actually an arc that is coming out on March 6th. First of all, the cover is gorgeous. It's just so shiny. It's about a cursed town in Oregon called Sparrow, where these 3 sisters were accused of witchcraft and killed 200 years ago. And every year since, every summer they come back for a few weeks and they basically possess 3 girls in the town and they kill a bunch of people. And this is like the town's curse basically for hanging them for witchcraft. And you don't know throughout most of the book if they actually were witches or not. It's kind of part of the mystery of the book is like, were they actually witches or were they innocent? Like, you don't know. I really enjoyed this. I don't want to say too much about it because I do want to do a review on it. Basically, it was very atmospheric. It took a minute to get going, but I ultimately really enjoyed it and it really surprised me because there are points of it where I'm like, I don't really know where this is going. Is this going to even be good? Am I even gonna like this? Because the writing style it's so different from Ingenue, which I just read, and that has a very simple, very fast-paced writing style. All the characters in that are very dramatic and flashy, and it's just, these books are very dramatic and very like fast-paced and simple to read. And this one is more, it's very atmospheric and there's not as much dialogue. It's very descriptive. It's all about the setting and like the mood and everything. Even the characters are a lot calmer than they are in the other book. So it was quite a switch tone-wise for me to read this one. But I really enjoyed it. I really got into it and I flew through it because, like I said, the atmosphere was very interesting. I could really see the town and everything that was happening. And it ended up surprising me so much. I did not expect it to go the direction it went. So I was really, really happy. And I ended up giving this 4 out of 5 stars because I really enjoyed it and it was very unexpected for me. Like from the back of it, I didn't even know if I was going to like it because it sounded interesting. But with witches, for me, can sometimes be really good, but then sometimes it can be kind of dark. And I don't like super, super dark books. So I wasn't sure if this book was going to be like darker than I wanted it to be. But while it had some dark elements to it, murder being kind of a dark element, it wasn't too dark for me. It wasn't like super scary or gross or anything, which sometimes happens when you have a book about a cursed town. So as a quick wrap up, I ended up reading 3 books for the Unicorn Readathon. I read A Magical History of Unicorns, which I think fills my quota for magical creatures for this readathon because it's a lot of unicorns. And then I read Ingenue, No Magic or Mythical Creatures. And then The Wicked Deep, which there's like a paranormal element to it, but I wouldn't say it has magical creatures in it. There were cats in it though, regular cats that seemed very cute. They were orange tabby cats and those are cute. And if you want to say those are magical creatures, then there you go. That's it for my Unicorn Readathon. Please let me know if you did the Unicorn Readathon in the comments below and what you read and if you enjoyed them, or you could just tell me about your week. I would love to chat with you in the comments. It always makes my day. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, because I make videos every Monday plus the occasional surprise video, and hit the little bell notification icon if you want to be notified every time I upload. And as always, thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day. Bye!